Hi, good morning, and welcome to the very first That's What She Shared. This is my brand new show hosted by myself, your host, Kat Slade, and this is my guest today, Amanda, and we're here to talk with you about everything Cricut and crafty. So if you like to craft, you have a Cricut, or you just want to hang out and be generally silly, then we are your ladies today. And this is where we are. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat if they're Cricut related, craft related, or about something we're talking about. We would love to answer those for you. This is the very first one, so if there's any technical glitches or anything, bear with us. We will try and sort it out as quickly as we can. Anyway, hi.
Hi.
Look at that, she talks too. Isn't that great? All right, so first up, we were going to talk about the channel and what to expect this year. So I've had my YouTube channel for a few years now due to the old lockdown. I was doing the craft markets and my husband suggested that I do something to get creative. Apparently I was driving him crazy in the house. So I was getting creative making things, but the markets closed down, so I couldn't sell at markets. And he suggested I start a YouTube channel so I could still make my cards and things, show them off. And then I got into learning how to edit and film. And I found that it was really, really fun being part of the YouTube community. And I was learning a lot and it kept me distracted from the craziness in the world. So here we are, a few years down the line, and I'm now doing my live show, which is really, really exciting. And I've roped my friend in as well.
Didn't really rope, but
I twisted your arm a little bit.
Wee bit.
A little bit.
But crafting's always fun.
Yes. Also, one of my followers with crafting, so connecting with people, other crafters around from the comfort of your own craft space or she shed is ideal. You can hang out at home. You don't have to really socialize, but you can virtually as well. So I'm going to be doing more regularly, more consistent videos this year, really, really focusing on trying to offer lots of value and lots of content to you all. Anything that you might want to learn or know about or watch a tutorial on, feel free to comment below or turn up in the chat and we'll try and answer those questions, and I'll try and do some videos for you as well. I'm going to try and post every week. I'm going to post tips and tricks and a new project, and we're also going to be doing regular live videos at least once a month. The next one will be this month though, because this is just a little teaser one to introduce you to the channel.
And Kat has a lot of really good ideas and a lot of good tips. She's definitely helped me along the way. I always we late message each other sometimes.
Well, it's good to know, fellow crafters, like you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it. If that makes any sense whatsoever. I probably haven't had enough coffee yet today. But there's always something to learn. There's always something new. And no matter how long I've had my machine or anything else, I've learned a lot from my aunt who introduced me to the machine and other crafters around. You've taught me some tips and things as well. And there's multiple videos on YouTube. I've learned a lot from Jennifer Maker. So if you are new to Cricut and those kind of crafting, then Jennifer Maker is a really good resource. Really, really good resource on YouTube. And she's got a variety of courses as well. That's that. I did that. So there's all sorts of things that you can make. I have a Cricut Maker machine. What machine do you have?
I have the Explorer Air 2, which my other half had bought me during COVID as well to help keep me busy.
Which a theme here.
Me too. And I've roped my child into it now too, my youngest. So
the main difference between the Explorer and the Maker has a different operating system in the fact that it has more tools and it can create more pressure. So a lot of the tools that you get from the Maker won't work in the earlier machines, but they do a lot of the same things without those extra tools. You have the Cricut Explorer. My aunt also has the Cricut Explorer. They're really, really good, solid machine. And unless you want to cut fabric or
engrave,
emboss, do perforation, things like that, if you're not fussed about those tools, then you really don't need the Maker. If you want and you have fabric patterns and things like that, the Maker is a really good tool for that. It can cut thin wood, but it is quite slow. It has a knife blade for it, and it's quite slow for that. So I use it mostly for card projects, but vinyl projects. What do you make?
I make a lot of vinyl and cards. I was a big card maker prior to Cricut, so it definitely has made the job way easier and way simpler. Like the
Well,
cards I made this Christmas were way better than the past.
Well, I found some of my old photos of when I started, and I was so proud of myself. These cards that I did, my first custom card, and I was like, "Look at this! This is amazing." I looked at it the other day and went, "Oh, that's embarrassing," and it's not. I mean, you learn from it. You get better every single time. And the biggest thing I read though is people are too scared to take the Cricut even out of the box, and they keep it for a year, and then the warranty's up. And if they have any issues, they can't fix it, but they're too scared. They're scared of this machine, and effectively it is just a die cutting machine. It's not a printer. It can write and it can draw, and if you have the maker, it can emboss and things like that. It is not a printer. You do need a printer to do the print and cut feature. So there are a lot of things that you can do with these machines, but we have a bunch of things. What did you want to show off first that I've got here?
Well, we are talking about cards. Can we please show off our amazing cards? Here, I'll give that to you to show off.
So this is one. This inside of this is actually in Cricut Design Space. So you don't pay for Cricut Design Space. You pay for Cricut Access. Now, so in Design Space, there's lots of free projects in there. I'm not sure if the pop-up cards are free or if they're an Access one. Are they free?
Oh, they might be an Access. I have Access because I find it's better value.
Yeah, I don't know the exact price of it right now, but Access in Cricut is so much value for money because thousands and thousands of designs, of fonts, of projects, fully completed projects that you can do. And you just go in, you put the thing in, you cut it, and you can adjust them too. So the inside of this is exactly as is in Design Space. And it talks you through the instructions. And I actually do have a video on my channel of me putting this together as well. And I'll add that in the link below after the live. And then I adjusted the front. So in this design, you get the cutout of the egg, but nothing else. And that's a bit plain for card for me. So I did this design, which again is an image in Design Space, and this one too. And I cut it out of vinyl because I like to cheat. And if I cut this out of cardstock, I'd have to individually glue each letter on. So I cut it out of vinyl and stuck it on, and that just adds a little something. Pop-up cards are always popular, and they look amazing. They do take a bit of patience to put together. Let's start with the easy ones. This one, for example, this is a basic pop-up. Now, I designed the front, and the trees from the front are actually the scraps from the cutouts of the inside. So always keep your scraps because you can use them for all kinds of things.
And then you can see she's kind of popped it up there.
Oh, yeah, it's just on some foam squares behind there.
Adds nice depth to it, though.
And there's your pop-up camping card. So it says, "Love you, Dad," there. And again, there's step-by-step instructions for this. I don't know if I've done this card on my channel yet, but if you wanted to see that, let me know. But there are step-by-step instructions in Cricut which help you put these things together. And again, you'll notice I've used vinyl. It gives a little bit of a shine here, but you can do this with cardstock too and glue it on. And we got one more card to show.
This one's my favorite.
This is one of my original designs I did myself, and it's a shaker card. So you can shake it. And it says, "Will you be mine?" And it's just plain on the inside, but it's basically acetate, a few layers of cardstock in that shape. And then this is more layered card. And this is actually printed. So this is print and cut. And it cuts around in the banner there. And it's all done in Cricut Design Space, which takes practice, but it's not that complicated. You just have to be brave enough to start, because ultimately some of my best designs have come from when I've completely done it wrong. Have you ever found that? You changed the whole design because you messed up?
Yep, and you're like, oh.
Or it didn't cut right the first time because you put it on the wrong setting, and then you're like, oh, what am I going to do now? And you change it.
Yep, and then it actually will spark a bigger idea, and you kind of come out of it feeling like you love it more than what you originally were going to do. So it's okay to kind of mess up because maybe it's not really messing up.
Exactly. So we did just have Christmas, so I wanted to show off some of the other things you may have seen if you have watched my channel at all. You may have seen some of the ornaments. Now, this is a floating ornament. This is the one I made for this year, which is 2 bears. And it's got reflecting on the light there. It's got a bit of snow in it, and you can see it kind of floats in the middle. So there's acetate in the middle there with the bears and the trees on it. And I actually have, this is a good video I did for this year, and the last year's video is my most popular video, actually. It's the deer in snow,
Yes.
which was super popular. And people have made it all over the world now, which is really, really cool. It's not a new idea. I saw the idea somewhere and then just came up with my own version of that. And then the images from Cricut Design Space as well. So ornaments is one thing you can do, custom ornaments, all kinds of things. And this is also a Christmas idea I had. Now, this was a chocolate scented mousse. I'm not quite sure why you need a chocolate scented mousse, but I felt I needed them.
Chocolate makes everybody feel better.
Exactly. My son actually says that the white chocolate, because I have cream ones of these as well, and he said those are the white chocolate mousse. These are the milk chocolate mousse. So they do actually smell weirdly of chocolate, but I got them from the Dollar Tree, and then they were just completely plain. So all I did was customize. You can see here, there's a little bit of holly, and then on the feet.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that before. That is adorable.
The snowflake and the feet. And then a Merry Christmas, and then my son's name. So this can be completely customized. I even did some for like Valentine's as well in a little mug. Like it must be love, I think.
That's cute.
Like a good old play on words. But they were really popular too. And that's actually HTV, which is iron-on vinyl. And that's glitter vinyl. So it looks amazing when it's on. It's not overly easy to weed.
I would.
Any tips for that?
I do. I would suggest double cutting it. So when it comes out after the first cut, instead of pulling it out, just hit the Cricut sign again. It'll put it back in and recut it. I find it's easier to weed that way. A lot of people have the light up mats. If you don't have one, you're just starting out. I actually turn the flashlight on my camera and flip it over. And
on your phone?
On my phone, sorry. Yeah.
No, that works.
And I use that to see where the lines are. Once you get started, it's pretty.
Do you know what I did last time? Because I've always struggled with weeding glitter vinyl, yet I seem to use it for projects, and then I'm just like, why did I do this to myself?
Always.
I used talc because I don't know if I saw it on TikTok or somewhere, but I used talc, just a little bit of talc on there, and then kind of roll the thing back, and I could see the lines a lot clearer as well.
That's really good idea.
Weeding regular heat transfer vinyl is amazing.
Oh, such a breeze.
Weeding. Now you might not know what weeding is if you don't. If
you're just starting out.
It's when you're taking out the bits of the lettering that you don't need. For example, in the t-shirt here, I've got a t-shirt.
Which is glow-in-the-dark vinyl.
Oh, the glow-in-the-dark vinyl, which is new. So this, actually, I can't show you because it's not dark in here. But this does glow in the dark. And we weed out the bits you don't want, so the center of the letters and things like that. And when you're doing that with vinyl for iron-on, it's so easy.
It is.
Compared to regular vinyl,
glitter,
which bits ping everywhere and things like that. But I really love weeding iron-on vinyl. That's super fun. This is a weeding tool. I have a glamorous assistant.
I love this system that she's about to talk about.
This is my secret. This is a top secret. This is a weeding tool. One of the basic tools in Cricut. So if you do get the basic set, or I've actually seen people get dentist tools from like thrift stores.
Oh, wow.
It's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
This is a really cool tool for weeding out those letters. And then you'll find people stick tape on their hands and all kinds of things.
It everywhere. So I've gone upstairs after crafting and I'll have it on my sweater.
Bits of vinyl, right? Because you take the vinyl off and then you end up with the tiny little bit. And where's it gone? And it could end up, like you said, anywhere.
In your hair.
In your hair, on your socks, in your bed, wherever. So I find Christmas time, the whole household is wearing glitter. Yeah. My husband and my son, everyone's got glitter on.
It's everywhere.
Sparkly. This is my secret. This is a wet ones container, which I have upcycled. No, not really upcycled, recycled. And in the bottom of it, I put a rock so that it doesn't tip over. And these are all my tiny bits of vinyl. And the reason it works is because when I have the vinyl on here, I stick it in there and it comes off on the inside of where the white would come out. And it holds on there. Do you have something similar?
I do. It's a little silicone piece that just kind of places
like
itself.
Nail polish one?
Yes. So similar. So I have a nail polish one that goes on my finger if I'm just doing a really small, quick project, or I have a bigger one that suctions to my mat that I have on my table, and I use that, and it's pretty easy. Yeah.
Otherwise, you end up with it everywhere.
So how long have you been using that one for?
That one, it's not even full. And I've probably been using that for 2 years.
That's insane. That's such a good tip. I love that when you showed that to me.
I like that one, and I get lost without it. What other things can we talk about? Oh, infusible ink.
Okay, so this is something I just recently dipped
Really?
my toes in. I was a little weary and scared, but because of Cat, I decided to take the plunge and play with it. So this Christmas, I made coasters with infusible ink instead of vinyl, and love the way they turned out. Um, I just got the hat press
Me
packet.
too.
So
I have
I'm
a hat actually. Do you want to grab that?
yeah. So I'm excited to start playing with
The hat press
infusible
bundle.
ink.
So this actually, I only just got my hat press, and Christmas was crazy. So this is the only hat I've made so far, and I used like a rainbow infusible ink. And this is my own design in Design Space. I typed in what I wanted, played around with the different fonts, again, all included in Cricut Access. And then I used my hat heat press to put on the hat. That's a little Christmas gift as well.
And
so what do we
Cricut? So Cricut Access a month is $12.99 Canadian.
Yes.
And it also, if you're ordering anything on Cricut's website, you get 10% off as well.
Yeah.
So my other half used my aunt, who I managed to get into the Cricut space.
Yes, it's like a club.
It is.
Drag your friends along with you.
He used her to order my Christmas present, my hat press. So she got the extra 10% off, which was awesome.
It helps to do that. And a lot of the time you've got shipping included as well when you're an Access member. So it's really worth the value. I'm not affiliated with Cricut or anything as of now. But it's just something that I've used for years. I don't remember how many years, but ever since I started, it's been worth it.
I love Cricut Access only because I rather pay the $12.99 a month and be able to use all the images minus Disney.
Yeah, we can't use them in Canada.
No. Licensing. Oh, I can't even speak.
Licensing agreement.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Issues, but some of the images would normally be $5. We got 2 of those and maybe a font, and you've already spent more than your $12.99 in a month.
Well, that's the thing, and I haven't got time to go around searching different websites for different fonts. Occasionally, I will get a different SVG from SVG Cuts. Is my favorite to go.
Do you want to explain what an SVG is, Kat?
SVG. It's basically a file that tells your machine what to cut. It's a cutting file. Like a PNG is a picture of it. An SVG is a cutting version of it. If that's simplified enough, right?
Yeah.
So it's a cut file. I didn't know until I used it. But so you can purchase those outside. I'm currently in the process of an Illustrator course, and I'm learning how to design my own outside of the Cricut Design Space in Illustrator, which is an amazing tool. And people have this, and they sell these designs. And I have one here that I bought. This was on, like I said, this was an SVG cut file.
And it lights up.
It does light up. Actually, I have a light in the bottom, and actually I made this for my husband for his birthday, and it fits a bottle of rum in here as well.
Wow.
So he was expecting an elaborate card because it's me, and he gets like handmade cards. You can see the light in there, and there's a light here too. And then he wasn't expecting to lift it up and get
as heavy
and bottle of rum. He was like, "Oh, what's that?" And a whole bottle of rum sat in there. So that was really cool. And again, SVG Cuts actually has good instructions, so it was relatively easy to follow. And you can adapt these files and everything as well once you've got them for your own needs. But it's all practice. The best thing about it is just have fun and don't be scared.
Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I'm too scared I was going to do it wrong, but no one's going to know what's wrong because it's your creation. So it was supposed to look like that.
Yep. Some of my Christmas cards I make Christmas bulbs, not as elaborate as Kat's yet, but sometimes I'm like, oh, they'll never know.
They'll never know that this bit was missing because they didn't know about the design, right?
Yeah. So
what other things we've done with Cricut? This is actually my water. This is customized, got my name on it. And some details. This is just regular, this is permanent vinyl. And as long as you don't put this in the dishwasher or the whatever, or soak it for hours in the sink. This has been on here for a good few years now, and it's in good condition. And then, this. Yay! Glass etching, which is actually, you can see what's inside it, really.
Do you want me to try and put something in it?
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. So this is the Thundercats logo. And then that says Slady, which is hubby's nickname there. And this is glass etch. So how I did this was with Armor etching cream, and I cut the stencils on my Cricut. So again, designed in Cricut Design Space and cut the stencils, and I put them on there, and then the etching cream. And I think I have a video of me etching something on my channel, but I am going to do some more in the near future as well. So glass etching is actually really fun, and it's a permanent design on something. It's like the vinyl is going to last a good while if you've got good vinyl on there. Oh yeah, this one I did for my husband with his coffee mug. He works on ships, so same ship, different day, and that was the name of the ship, so that way he could determine which coffee cup was his.
You don't want to drink out of somebody else's coffee cup.
Exactly, that's kind of gross. So there's lots of customization you can do. It's really good for family gifts and last minute gifts even. Why buy something when you can make it for
I do have a little tip. Never tell your husband or children that you're only going to be 30 minutes, even if the file is already done. Because I have had my other half come down after an hour and a half. I thought you were going to be done. You get busy.
There's no time zone in the craft.
Oh, no, it's like fishing, right?
Yes. And that's another thing. Someone said to me once, they said, "You like fishing?" He was like, "Yeah." So, well, if you like fishing, buy your wife a Cricut.
Yeah.
Because she won't even notice you've gone for the weekend because she's in the craft room. All right. So other things that you can make. I do lots of card and paper crafts, which I really, really like. This is like a table place name thing for Thanksgiving. Other things. I've done all kinds of things. Like I said, check out the channel. Oh, the lantern. This was a fun
I like that.
I did with my son and his class. And it's just a little lantern. So this is some vellum. And the Cricut cut out all the details. And you just, this one's stapled together, but you can glue it, staple it. And this was something they can take around on Halloween. It was really easy for them to make. And again, didn't take very long on the Cricut, unless you're making 20 of them, which I was. So there's lots of fun things that you can do. This one, a little game, tic-tac-toe.
This one's good to have with you if you have kids.
Yes, it's a good travel one for if you're sitting in a restaurant and you've got littlies, then they don't sit still. So this one, I actually just bought the plain bags with the heart on, but you can find the plain bags all over the place, dollar store or Amazon or whatever. And then I designed what I wanted on the front, weeded it out, the same as on the back. And that's just, again, iron-on vinyl, HTV. And inside are the playing pieces, which are just little glass beads. And then I cut out the vinyl to go underneath. So on the one side, it kind of magnifies it. Can't really see very clearly. But that's a cute little game to just take around. And I do have a video on how to make that on my channel as well. I will add the link.
It'd be good for in the car too if you're on a road trip. So
yes. Oh, is that? I love your car decals. Yes. Who has? Do you have any decals on your car?
I do. I have one that I created myself.
Yeah.
Played around. It's a heart or half a heart. So I took a heart and then I did some slicing and added our local island on there and a few of my favorite things like flip-flops because everybody loves the beach.
In Canada, they wear them all year round.
Yep.
Well,
no, I don't.
On the West Coast, I've seen people in flip-flops and shorts in the snow. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, they don't get cold. I'm from the South of England. I get cold easily. I don't know. Anyway, so there are so many things that you can do with a Cricut. You're never going to run out of ideas. There's always going to be something else you can buy. The biggest advice I would give would be don't try and do everything right off the bat. Like literally choose whether you're going to do cards or hats or mugs or T-shirts, whatever it is that you want to learn to do, and learn to do that first in Design Space because you can expand from there. But if you have all the products and all the tools and all the supplies,
you can get overwhelmed.
It's so overwhelming. And depending on what space you have, you might have just a tiny desk in the corner of the kitchen, or you might have a huge room where you can decorate all the walls with glitter and vinyl. But if you don't have a lot of space and you're going to get overwhelmed with all the supplies and then too many ideas.
Yeah, my little craft space is in my basement. It's a little corner that I have set up So you also don't need a very big space either.
No, it's all about being organized.
It
Although that
is.
gets chaotic at Christmas time. I don't know, any of you crafters out there know what
Oh,
we're
it
talking
takes a-
about? Your craft room probably looks like things exploded over Christmas.
Yeah, I think I just got mine semi-organized.
Yes, January is a really good time to get reorganized, and there are actually 3 different hobbies with crafting. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
It's 3 different hobbies. Buying the supplies, organizing and reorganizing the supplies, and then actually using the supplies. 3 different hobbies.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm accomplishing something.
It's so much fun shopping for supplies and making things and then trying to find where they go. So you have to reorganize. But it keeps me out of trouble.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for Kat and all her amazing videos and check them out here on YouTube.
I'm actually all over the internet
You are
as well.
everywhere.
Everywhere. TikTok.
Yeah.
I just opened a Twitch. So I might even be able to stream on Twitch soon. I've got TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. So all those links, and again, I'll add the links to those below as well. If you're interested, follow me. And I'm going to be offering regular tips and tricks each week. I'm going to try and have a new project video out each week and then live each month with either by myself doing a live craft or a special guest each week as well. Amanda was brave enough to be my very first guest on our channel. My channel. It's my channel.
It is your channel.
I was not brave enough to go it alone, so I appreciate the company. Thank you for coming with me.
No problem, anytime.
For this very, very first one. We've got a couple of minutes left. Have we got any questions in the chat that you can see? Thank you, everyone that's joined us today. This is quite nerve-wracking going live for the first time, and you just it's nice that people have actually come along.
Yes. Perfect.
No questions?
When is your next video?
When is the next video? That is a good question. So the next one is actually, I'm going to be doing some kind of Valentine craft. I don't know exactly what yet. It might be a card, it might be a gift. And that's going to be on January 24th at 11 a.m. So join us then for live. I will advertise it. If you subscribe and hit the notification buzzer, it'll let you know when I'm going to be going live next and you won't miss it. And if you have any questions, whether now or in the replay, feel free to put them in the comments and I'll try and answer any of your questions for you. I'm here to help. I love to craft. I love to teach. And I don't know anything. I don't know most things.
And so you know lots of things.
I know some things. Some of it's relevant to crafting. So if you want any help and I can answer the question, I will certainly try. And if not, I will help you find the answer through someone else.
Or if you're stuck on a project and want somebody else's point of view, Kat always has really good point of view.
That always helps actually, because in our house, you're only down the road and my aunt's in the house too, and we have a little setup. Our craft room is like, the ladies in the office where we can throw ideas back and forth, and if you're stuck on a design or something's not working, then the other person usually has a completely different suggestion which will help it all come together. So
I make my Christmas cards and my bulbs with my aunt.
Yeah.
Because the same thing, sometimes one of us will get stuck and can't quite see. It's like, something's kind of missing, and the other person can step in and be like, oh, what about this?
Yeah.
So it's always good to ask a fellow crafter.
Well, I like it because you can craft together. You can craft together, but from the comfort of your own space. You haven't got to tidy up your house or your craft room to invite everyone around.
That's right.
You can just turn on your camera and listen. And often I've got YouTube on, just listening or watching someone else crafting in the live while I'm making something. So I'm not alone if it's
my
11 o'clock at night because everyone's in bed asleep and I'm crafting or working on something.
Yeah, normally I have YouTube going off on my phone while I'm sitting there crafting away. Yeah. So,
but that's, I think, all we had time for today. Yeah. There's a bunch of things that I can show you in the future. There's all sorts of things coming up this year. I'm hoping this is the start of a regular show with lots of interesting things and offering you guys some value. So I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. I want to thank you for coming along to watch. If you're watching on the replay, please let me know what your thought of the day was, if you had any questions or anything like that, and or even ideas for future things you might like to see me make or make with me in the live videos.
If there's a project maybe you want Kat to try out.
Oh yeah, I might be able to make it. but I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
You never know, right? And there's lots of things that I haven't even tried out yet in the whole Cricut world. I've got a bunch of tools with my maker that I've still yet to use.
You got some Christmas presents that you got that you haven't quite used.
Oh, my Christmas present. I got this. I've had the tools for a while, but this is the tool organizer. Isn't it pretty?
Oh, it is
Isn't
very
it pretty?
pretty.
It's got all my tools in there. So I have the fabric blade and the knife blade, the fine point blade, the rotary blade, which is for fabric. Very, very sharp. So hanging them in here is actually very safe. And then in the bottom, I have my scoring wheel, double scoring wheel, embossing, debossing, perforation, and then there's the wavy wheel.
So these ones are used for the maker,
Yes.
not the Explorer.
So yes, the Explorer has the fine blade. So the fine point. And it has the deep cut blade as well.
Yes, it does.
But
this would be so nice to be able to just grab one and switch them out instead of having to pull the blade out and put a new blade in.
And then you have like these ones, this specific design. These go with the motor that's in the Maker and the Maker 3. The difference between the Maker and the Maker 3, as far as I can gather, is that the Maker 3 can cut
smart
vinyl, which means I don't need a mat. But we can go into that in another video another time. Because I think you've used a Maker 3, haven't you?
I have. My aunt has one.
All right. So we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Please like and subscribe.
Yes. Please like
and join us next time.
Come back again, because you never know. We could be talking about crafts.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
See you next time. Bye.